Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is an end of the month for January tarot oracle reading. And Scorpio, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Scorpio, we still all have a little bit of Scorpio in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Scorpio in? That's where this energy will show up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. Keep in mind this is a general collective reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you, leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you are watching this video at this time, it's the perfect time for you. If it's been some time since I posted it, what was going on in your life at that point, that could give you some more information to clarify your situation. All right, Scorpio, here we go for the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. We have the Emperor. So that's a powerful position to be in for the reading. The Emperor is all four kings rolled into one. He is all about performance. So this is taking advantage. We have the new moon right now that is in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn energy is about performance in the 3D. So it's about taking consistent steps of action to reach your goal, and the energy is the Capricorn energy is the mountain goat, and the mountain goat has a dolphin tail. So you can imagine climbing a mountain with a dolphin tail on the end instead of a rear end. And so this is the energy, absolutely determined to make shift happen. And it's about bringing thoughts and ideas down to physical earth and making them happen. It's the Capricorn energy is the most responsible, highest level of all the most mature of the pentacles. The pentacles do represent health, wealth, happiness, abundance on planet Earth. And of course, a big part of that is money and coin. The Emperor is all about performance. So the Emperor embodies that energy of being able to take what's just in the air kind of and bring that down to Earth and make it happen, and have it's very strong performance in all areas of life, being someone that is very wise and able to handle pressure. Also someone who's is able to contain their emotions in a strong way. And he wears his armor under his robe, so he's always ready to get up at a moment's notice and do what he needs to do to take advantage of the opportunities. And so that's what the new moon energy is. It's about like new. Let's go after what we want here. And so that's the Capricorn energy. And today is the 18th. So this is the new moon energy that we're in. You may have been feeling this for a few days now, because generally we'll feel the energy of the moon for at least 3 days before and 3 days after. So that is for the overall energy. And now we have for the underlying energy for the internal forces. So internal forces are the what ifs. You can tell the difference between internal forces and external forces, because the question you'll be asking is, what if I do this? What will happen? What if I don't do this? Will that happen? That kind of energy. And this energy is talking about the Four of Pentacles. Again, we're talking here about pentacles. Because the Emperor is ruled also by that energy, as well as this card here is saying it's about the 3 levels that you can be at when it comes to making money. And it's talking about having a strong foundation to begin with, but playing it safe, because you don't want to risk your money. And then this is your heart's desires and your crowning glory. So it's how much risk are you willing to take to be able to enjoy the lifestyle of the Emperor, yeah, who is living like a strong, positive lifestyle, because they have put they know when to take risks, and they know when not to. They understand an opportunity when they see it. And so this energy sometimes can say that there could be an opportunity coming in, and don't play it small. You know, you sometimes have to leave your comfort zone to be able to achieve that kind of success. Well, not even half, sometimes you probably do have to, it's more than likely. Okay, so this is talking about you going on a new journey, which is so awesome for this energy tonight with the moon. This will be in the morning that I post this, but that's the energy I'm in as I'm doing this reading. So this is about the Fool starting out on a new journey. This is, you know, the sun is shining on him, and this is talking about he's at the 0 point. So he's like at the point where this horizon is open to him, and he is, you know, just having faith that his path will work out and that this new energy, he's enjoying it. He's not carrying much baggage with him, representing that he has let go of what doesn't work for him. And what better a time to do that than now, that kind of energy. We have the Judgment coming in. So the energy of judgment, this card has been coming in a lot. If you watch the news at all, you'll notice that right now in politics all over the world, there's a lot of energy out there right now where a judgment's being called, and shift that happened like, you know, 4 or 5, 6 years ago, and before that even, is coming out into the open, and now there's judgments being made in courts about it. And that's the kind of energy that we're in right now. And so what's happening in the news on a bigger scale is generally happening in people's lives on a basic level, you know, and on some way. Because as above, so below. And so this judgment that's coming in, the trumpet's blowing, and it's coming from the spiritual realm first and foremost. So it's talking about God's will being, if you're not in alignment with what you're here, with what God put you on earth to do, there's going to be judgment being called from the top level all the way down to the bottom, and from the bottom to the top. And this is also talking about, like, the ancestors are, yay, the judgment's coming in. They're literally like, your ancestors may be across the veil, and they're saying, yes, our descendants who are waving from the other side there, they're finally going to have justice, and they'll be able to move forward in a really strong way. So everybody's happy about it. And then we have, yeah, again, here we have it, this major change right now. And so when we moved out of the energy of the 2025 year, that's 2 + 2 + 5 is 9. And 9 is representing there is an end of a cycle. And that cycle was a 10-year cycle. And then we're moving into 2026, which is a 10-year. And the 10 years talking about 1 + 0 = 1. It's a brand new. So on top of the energy of Capricorn wanting us to build new shift, let's climb a mountain. Today, yes, right now, let's go. That kind of energy. It's talking about that kind of forward driving energy. And also it's talking about, like, the old systems, the failures in the old systems are coming to light. That's what the representation of the king being trampled. It's not necessarily the king himself, although there is some governments around the world, if you're watching right now, that are toppling. and they're being trampled. That's the kind of energy that we're in. And we have, you know, we have this energy also of some people really turning away from it. And then these young kids here, the one is holding a bloom for the Grim Reaper, and he's saying, here's a flower. Now, the Grim Reaper is not meant to be a scary individual that's evil or anything. The Grim Reaper is just someone that represents the death and the birth, the death and rebirth, basically, cycle. And he's carrying this flag, and it's showing that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like the new brings in new, right? It brings in new light, new energy. And so in 2026, it's about new. It's like a deck. It's not, when we move from 2025 on January 1st, when we moved from 2025 to 2026, we didn't just move from one year to another. And you may have noticed it, you could really feel like, whoa, it's like someone drew a line and all of a sudden the energy shifted overnight, kind of energy. And that's because we ended a 10-year cycle. And we moved into a new 10-year cycle. So you may find it beneficial to look back. What were you doing on that cusp of energy, like between 2000 and the end of 2015 to the end, to the beginning of 2016. And who were you with? What were you doing? What was going on in your life? Because that was the beginning of the end of this cycle now. And so that's the energy that we're in. And a lot of people on the planet are feeling it, like all the way from like the countries themselves and the people that run them, all the way down to just the average person, you know, that's living it out, right? And we have the competition. So even right now, we're in the news also, we're seeing a lot of competition and the economic structures changing. And that's the kind of energy. It's kind of like things that we were absolutely sure were going to stay the same are now changing. And it has a lot of people really feeling upset about like why can't we just have things the same? Like why do we have to be changing all the time? And then we've got AI coming out, and that is really changing a lot of the energy, because it's really, we're getting information, and you go online now, and like even here on YouTube, you go on YouTube, and there's just all this AI slop out there, and it's like you can tell that it's been generated by computer. And it's kind of what I don't like about it is it's actually making up stories about real people and their situations and presenting them as if they're true. Now, YouTube has a policy that you have to let them know if you're using any of that kind of information or doing that, and then they make it really, you have to make it really clear to people when they're watching it that it's AI generated and that it is a story. Having said that, some people don't read the fine print, have you noticed? So it's just making it more complicated, actually, to be able to tell like what's real in the news and what's not real. But having said that, there's some real benefits to the AI as well. It's really great for organizing and you know, and editing video and like all the different things that you can do with it, and also about looking for you know, the information for doing research and organizing files and all of that kind of energy. So it's really like everybody's kind of learning how to do it. We had that, you know, upset with Grok on Twitter. Like all of these things are coming up. And so that's the energy that we're in right now. Like all of a sudden, bang, we're like just in this new, different environment. And we all are kind of making those adjustments. A lot of people are feeling this energy right now. Scorpio energy is kind of you know, accepting of that. Scorpio likes change, like on some levels, but the energy can be kind of like really like it's upsetting the apple cart, if that makes any energy. And so dealing with competition, you have to deal with competition in a different way now. You can't look at competition out there as oh, like the competition is so horrible, that kind of energy. It's more like no, the AI is allowing people to be more innovative in some ways. And as long as you know that that's what's being used, and like that's a policy I really enjoy here on YouTube, is like that you have to let them know this is what you're doing, and the algorithm picks up if someone's using AI. So it's like you know you yourself as a citizen, you're responsible for what you watch and what you take in. And so if you know, you have to check and see, was this a real thing or was this for entertainment? That kind of energy. And so if the competition is using those advancements and you're not, it's going to be hard for you to keep up, because it is really beneficial for organizing information, etc. So it's kind of like we're all in the learning stages of that, where like, you know, systems all around the world are having to adjust, right? And so we'll see what happens with it. We have the victory here. So this is representing being able to handle this competition by educating yourself and being wise about the decisions you make. And a lot of you know, the people that are responsible, like for YouTube, etc., like you have to let them know. I know this because I'm uploading videos every day, and every video you have to inform them if you're using any of the AI and in a way that would be deceptive to people. And also if you're using if any of your videos are actually being promoted with money, you know, that kind of energy, or is this like you know, is your channel growing kind of at a grassroots level? That's the energy. So there's a lot of people that are aware of this, and they're doing everything they can to keep it responsible. I feel like it's going to adjust, and it's going to be you know, something that we're all going to have to learn to, how are we going to understand how to use this responsibly, and then move forward and use it responsibly. And so this is talking about having victory over that. So like this is talking about learning from your competition instead of being upset by the competition. That's the kind of energy. If they're doing something that is making them have a better result, what is it that they're doing? Study it and see, and implicate that in whatever you're doing, and then the energy is always moving forward. So it's kind of we're in the beginning stages of this in a lot of ways, and like the average person is kind of maybe a little bit challenged by it, or a lot challenged by it, but it's kind of like, I find it challenging at times, but I'm taking courses on how to understand how to use AI so that I have a better understanding. I don't want to fall behind, but I want to be responsible with it and know how to use it properly. And that's kind of up to each and every one of us to draw that line. And so the energy here is talking about the horse energy coming in, and that's because this is the first horse that we have. So this card does represent victory, and it represents, again, that reining in your emotions so that you can be victorious in what you're doing. And the horse energy coming up on February 17th is the energy of the it's the Chinese New Year, and it is the fire horse energy. And this is an energy of bringing in all this new energy. Like this coming year is going to be like this, so you need to you need to adapt to it, right? And this energy is talking about being very free-spirited and moving forth and setting very high goals and being able to achieve those goals. The danger with this energy, with the fiery horse energy, is that sometimes it can be very impulsive, and so you have to make sure that you are doing your homework and you're looking into things so that you're not using things in an irresponsible way. And that's up to each individual to do that and to protect yourself in that way. The other energy that is you have to be careful of is especially right now, we're in this Capricorn energy where we want to build, let's go do some new stuff. And that energy is very disciplined though. And so what the danger of the fire horse energy also can be where you just are like driving yourself so hard that you burn yourself out, because it's fiery energy. And so you don't want to be tackling too much at one time to the point where you can't keep up and then you burn yourself out. And so that's, but victory is there for all of us. I was really nervous about all that new AI and all of that, like how am I going to be able to tell? And then I'm like, hey, I'm going to go find somebody that knows about it, and I'm going to take a course and I'm going to educate myself, and then I'll feel better about it. And it's worked. I even use it sometimes now, to organize my files and to do research. It's really, you can ask it, and it will give you 20 different examples of what you're asking. So it can be very beneficial. And we have the Hierophant energy here, and it's talking about moving, like the Hierophant is talking about the traditional structure, and that's what is happening here. And for whatever reason, the Scorpio energy, it's not the Scorpio is about water and emotions, and the Scorpio at its very finest, it's the state of being of that sign is being, you're able to take this energy and you're able to use it to unite people. And in its worst energy, it's about divide and conquer energy. So the Hierophant, the traditional structures, like right now, a lot of the traditional structures that have been in place that we thought would always be there are kind of like falling apart before our eyes. And so we have to make these adjustments, and we have to educate ourselves. And some of this, like the Hierophant has a blessing. His right hand is in the form of a blessing. And that energy is talking about, a lot of this new coming in is a blessing for people to be able to to be able to do what used to take you hours and hours. Like when it comes to editing video and that kind of stuff, there's so many cool things now that can, take a lot of the hours that you would have had to put into it. and make it like way more adaptable. And also, if you learn how to use that, being able to do a better job, you know, and that's really beneficial. So I feel like it's progress in motion that we're in right now, and we're all learning kind of to adapt to it. And some people are more resistant to it, like here in this card, that's what it represents. And some people are really enjoying it. And so it's bringing up a lot of emotions for a lot of people. And then we have here, we're just going to go through this. This is yourself. How you identify with yourself right now, your self-image. So this is talking about the energy of, you know, you're starting a new journey, and you don't want to carry the baggage with you, and you have a good spirit about it. It's kind of like this horse energy coming in on the 17th. And that also is going to be on a new year. I'm just as, that's the energy coming in. And then we have the abundance and self-worth. So it's kind of, you have to understand, like, you're not going to be able to do things the way that your parents and your ancestors did it. Though, you know, a lot of those traditions are changing, and that's what this reading seems to be about. It's about adapting to how the world is running now. And it's about seeing the benefits in it, and then also for yourself, understanding which parts of it can benefit you and which parts you just, you know, you don't have to participate in. And then we have this is your communication from early life. Yeah, you think about it. How much has communication changed since, you know, like since I was born? Even it's like changed a lot. Like, people didn't run around with cell phones. We didn't have cell phones. And so when we were teenagers, it was much easier. We didn't have social media, so we didn't have the energy of having to like make all our mistakes publicly. You know, I feel for adolescents now. I mean, adolescence is when you're experimenting, and you make a lot of mistakes when you're younger because you're trying to you know, become, you know, you're experimenting. Like how are you supposed to become an adult unless you do that? And at the same time, it's so public now, like with the social media energy. And then we have the creativity and this is your home and family, your emotional foundation. So, you know, if the energy in your family is really competitive, sometimes that can be a really good thing. Like, sometimes some families have very high standards, and it's talking about, you know, kind of like a competition within the family, but it's done in a responsible way. But sometimes it can go too far, and I feel like that's the kind of energy, maybe feeling like a lot of people are feeling like some people in the family you know, grew up and they went in a certain direction, and they're really doing well because they understand this new energy coming in, and others have not, and it's really confusing for a lot of people. And so we're in a period of a lot of adaptation right now. And then this is about talking about, this energy here is about your creativity, your romance, and your children. So this is about being victorious because you learn to rein your emotions in. That's what the horse energy represents, your emotions. And that horse doesn't even have to be reined in anymore. That horse is looking back. Okay, what direction do you want me to go in? And there's even all these people around, and these people are realizing, hey, instead of being in competition with this person, we can really learn from them, that kind of energy. And so we have the health and daily routines and habits. And so this is talking about, you know, there's a lot of blessings in this. It can save people a lot of time and money. There's more safety in some ways, and then there's less privacy in others. There's so much out there, and there's so much to absorb, right? And really, it's about maybe taking little tiny steps to use certain things. Like if you have a cell phone, actually learn how to use it. That kind of energy, taking the time to do so. And then we have this energy here of you know, fulfillment, ultimate fulfillment is here for many of us. And it's talking about, you know, taking calculated risks at a time, like not like being too impulsive in this horse energy coming into into February. We're going to really feel that more as the new year starts. And the full moon that is on the 1st of February, which is right at the end of this month, that energy, that full moon is in Leo. And so that's about being a leader. That's about being recognized as a leader. And that energy is saying, hey, Leo, you need or anyone, like, you need to follow the example of Leo. They are a good leader because they understand that they have to upgrade themselves first to become a leader. And then opposite from the Leo energy on the horoscope is the opposing energy is Aquarius. And that's all this new technical energy coming in here and that. So it's talking about the back and forth of that. And Aquarius is saying, hey, we can use this for, like, to make the world a better place, like, learn how to use it kind of energy. And there's kind of what's better for the whole and what's better for the individual kind of energy coming through, like, at the beginning of the month. So you might be feeling that a little bit, about how am I going to be a good leader for my family? Like, what are the best decisions we can make at this time? That kind of energy. And so this is representing the external forces, is how do we achieve this ultimate fulfillment? This is 10 of Cups is the most fulfillment that you can have in in the tarot. And it's talking about one, like, you love your partner, you love your children, you love where you live, you love the country, and you love your neighbors, you love your career, you love working with the people that you work with, you just have so much love, you love to travel, you like all of this energy is talking about that fulfillment, and enjoying your life on planet Earth instead of worrying too much. You can only, the internal forces here are the ones that you have control over. You can't control the external forces, like, of what happens here. You can control your response or your reaction to them. And so usually if you educate yourself about those things, you'll feel better about it, and then you'll be able to be a better leader, especially if you have children that are using computers, etc., and they're using this technology. You want to make sure you know at least as much as your children do when they're using that technology. And it can, for them it seems so natural because they have always had it. But if you are, it hasn't been that long, how it's been maybe 2 or 3 decades now at the most, that cell phones weren't around. And the cell phones we had before, when those cell phones first came out, like, they were like big, and you had to put an antenna on your car, and there had to be a cell, there had to be there had to be a tower close by kind of energy. So that's the kind of energy, is adapting to it. And then we have, speaking of towers, we have a tower here. So yeah, this is a reality check for a lot of people. I feel a lot of people feel like, oh, I think I'm just going to wait for things to turn back to normal. They always do. And it's kind of like, I don't feel that I think we have a new normal now. A part of the reason for that is in 2020. I really noticed that difference. Like, they've been talking about us moving slowly into this age of Aquarius, and we were in the age of Pisces. The age of Pisces represents this traditional energy. And now we've been in, like, since 2020, I feel we've been in, more feeling that Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. That's a 2,160-year cycle. So, like, we're just in the very beginning of it. And so it's a reality check for a lot of people. Now, if there's a reality check for a lot of people around the world, then there's probably reality checks within your own family. That's how the energy works, as above, so below kind of energy. So this is talking about the universe may have been whispering to you, hey, you might want to take a look at that. Maybe if you go in this direction and you didn't hear it. And so then the universe takes a frying pan and whack. Do you hear me now? No, I still don't hear you. I hear you, but I don't want to make the change. And then it's like, okay, here's the 2x4 treatment. This is like when the lightning hits your tower and you fall out, and now your palace is on fire, and you have to make that adjustment. You have to look into it. You have to. You don't have any choice at this point. So, make the decision yourself, or the universe will make the decision for you. The information does equal energy, and the universe loves action. And so the one thing that you can rely on, because a lot of people feel like, what can we rely on these days? You hear people saying that a lot. And you can rely on change. Change is always happening, that's for sure. And then this is talking about actually going to work. And so this, out of all of the pentacles in the tarot, this one is actually about the making of money. He's actually working on the coin. And so that energy is talking about either you have, like, and because you're on a new journey, I feel like this, well, it could be both, but like this is representing starting to work on a new project and you're already on the second pentacle and you have these to go. Or it can talk about you're finishing up a project and you're working on the second last pentacle and you only have one to go, and then you'll be able to move into this new energy. So this is talking about keeping your focus so that you can achieve this ultimate fulfillment in all the chaos that's out there right now. And then we have Temperance. Okay, so this card's been coming in a lot. This is about like alchemizing. It's about a little bit of this and a little bit of that and mixing it together so that you can make things work in a strong way. So Temperance is talking about, like, she has her foot in the pool here, and this energy is talking about the universal waters. And so getting your feet wet, you know, and bringing your special quality and your intuition on how to bring that into the earth. And then having, she has her left foot on the earth. And this is talking about grounding herself at the same time, so that you have to be grounded to bring, you have to bring what you have, that are thoughts, just thoughts in your head, that Capricorn energy of having that discipline to take logical steps of action, educate yourself, take the positive steps, and then bring that down to earth and ground yourself with it. That's a really, and having the patience to be able to do that. Again, the energy is don't make impulsive moves that you might regret later because you don't understand the technology or you don't understand, you know, the energy. There's a lot right now. Also, this is also talking about the energy of a lot of scams out there. You know, it's a lot easier with the AI and that for people to put out fake emails and stuff from banks, etc. So you have to be responsible and you have to look into how can I protect myself from those. And then we have, yeah, or else if you don't adapt to this energy, I feel like this is saying that you'll be left out in the cold. And it's really kind of interesting because this is coming up in the Scorpio energy. And as I said, Scorpio at its best is about uniting people. And I feel like this is talking definitely more about collective energy. This is a very collective reading, and it's kind of like Scorpio sharing their insight, you know, about how to navigate through this. Scorpio is very good at navigating through systems and navigating at change and being able to, you know, the thing about Scorpio is they like to unite, but if there is they have a stinger, and you know, if you get stung by a scorpion, it's not good. And so it's kind of like watch how you I feel like it's saying watch how you climb the ladder to success, because it's important how you do it as much as doing it. That's the energy I'm picking up. And so this is talking about, a lot of people might feel that you're never too old to learn how to use technology. You're never too old to, you know, look information up. You're never too young to do it either. That's it. Well, I mean, and you have to learn how to read, etc. But you know what I mean? It's kind of about, you know, learning, like making it, even every day, just saying like, okay, for the upcoming year here, and if you've already done something like this and then you've already blown your New Year's resolution, the February 17th is giving you a second chance. So it's kind of like maybe every day I'll take 15 minutes to learn something new about technology. And, you know, imagine how much that will add up if you do that, you know, 365 days of the year. 15 minutes a day isn't that much, but it adds up to a lot of knowledge that could really benefit all of us. That's kind of the energy that I'm in. Taking courses on, I want to know from people that are smart about this, how it works and what to do and what not to do to protect myself. And then this energy is talking about moving forward. Like this is about, the Three of Wands is the energy of really wanting to expand the horizons and take that fire from the fire horse energy and let's use it. It's kind of like, okay, I'm walking through that portal of new. I'm done with the old. I'm on my new journey and I am going to rock it. Like, this is the kind of energy. Here we have, it looks like sand, but it's actually just the way the sun is shining on the water here, and there's ships coming in here, and this is about, hey, your ships are sailing in kind of energy, you know, make sure you hop on board if you're ready to go kind of energy, like that. It's really, I find this is really good advice for all of us, what's coming up here. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, so the Ace of Pentacles is a reward from the universe for following your North Star. This is God saying, good job. You know, you're going on, you're responsibly adjusting to this new energy on the planet, and because of that, there's going to be a lot of rewards coming in. It's worth taking calculated risks right now to be able to embrace this energy. Do your research. That's what it's saying. Make sure you'll be rewarded if you you know, you're not foolish on your path. What you do is you educate yourself about these things. That's what I love about doing a channel right now. It's really intimidating because it's a lot to learn, but I love it. I already know so much more, and I'm enjoying, you know, at first it's like, oh my, it's so much to learn about how to do things and the technology and how to edit videos and how to render them, and you know, all of the rules and everything, and wanting to make sure you do everything right, and all of that energy. But it's been such a huge learning curve. And then, you know, also taking classes so that I understand better. I feel like way more confident than I did even 2 or 3 months ago. And so it's that kind of energy of the reward is within yourself. Like, it's such a good feeling when you do that, instead of sitting there and feeling like, oh, I don't fit into the society anymore. You know, no. Adapt to it and come out victorious, and then teach others how you did it. That's the energy. So I really like this reading a lot. If you're enjoying it, please do like and comment. It really does empower me to build my channel. And I am going to clarify this with my oracle. And so I started this oracle back in 2007. I'm an artist, so I was doing these great big dragon paintings. They're dragons from the future, from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And in 2020, I finished the 64th painting. I've had them out and about in the past at psychic fairs and seminars, etc. But now that I have all the paintings done, I am working on the information that goes with it. And so I do appreciate your time and energy here. I'm learning so much from all of you, and I'm going to write it all up and then bring my oracle out. In the meantime, I'm using these cards in the description box below. I will put the numbers as they appear in this reading. So if you want to check out my oracle, it's Tales from the Vector, and my website is talesfromthevector.com, and that's TAILS. The information is in the description box below. So let's see. I'm going to, oh, there we have it. That's how these cards come out. They like to jump out. So the 2 cards that came out, again, okay, this one is the first one out, and it's saying there's judgment here. So this is talking actually about the cosmic heart, and this is talking about how God is the only one who is really qualified to judge any other people. I mean, of course, we have to have traditional structures of law and order in place, but this is talking about the cosmic heart, and it's talking about, like, as each one of us you know, improves ourselves, that we're making that improvement on the planet. And so, and then also, you know, as it expands into the universe. And so this is talking about judgment for the universe, and the cosmic heart is having things orderly. And so even though you might be feeling like things are all going crazy in the world and it's all chaotic, in many ways, there's always the eye of the storm, and it's normal for energy to expand and then to contract, and then to expand, and then to contract. And so when it's in the expansion, it can feel like things are flying around. It's kind of like if you're in the eye of the storm, it can be really quiet, but you know, around you there's chaos happening. So it's that kind of energy, staying centered in all of this. And then we have dissension. So this is talking about, you know, it's talking about swimming with sharks and like knowing who your friends are, but at the same time it's about knowing yourself. And so it's saying again, it's your responsibility to really look into things these days. Like, you have to understand that you have to make calculated risks. So you have to do your research. You can't just go, oh, it sounds like a good idea. Like in the past, maybe that worked for you, but that kind of energy is really not very wise right now. It's more like, do your research. Make sure before you click that link that it is really your bank. You know, that's the kind of energy, so that you don't get caught up in, you know, some sort of schemes and stuff out there. And then we have this other tactic coming in here of deception. So, you know, kind of being, what this is talking about is on your journey, recognize again, do your research. You know, make sure that the information you're getting is, make sure as much as you can that the information you are taking in is not deceptive. And quite often, like, who are the people that you're with? Do you really know them? And make sure, like, so if you're getting in partnerships in business, or if you are thinking about getting married, get to know your partner before you make those major decisions, because marriage is not only about love. Marriage is a major commitment, a legal commitment, and it's going to follow you for many years. So you want to make that choice very wisely. And so this is talking about deception in the world. And I feel like a lot of times when people feel like they've been deceived by their partner, it's actually more like they were deceived by themselves, but because they didn't look into it more. And the universe was maybe saying, you might want to look at that a little bit closer, but you're, oh no, I'm in love, you know, that kind of energy. So this is talking about mother's worry and the judgment again. I do feel that this card is coming out. It's coming out in a lot of my readings right now. And I feel like it's talking about Mother Earth energy. A lot of people call the Earth Mother, and they consider it to be like that kind of maternal energy. And it's kind of the worst thing that a mother can do is worry about her children. If you're going to, you know, if you can't see a strong future for your children, who's going to? You're the one who brought them into the world. So the energy is talking, you know, about letting go of the worry. You may have noticed when you worry, it doesn't do any good. Worrying about things doesn't make things better. Educating, and again, it keeps coming up with the Scorpio energy, saying like, don't let your emotions take you down, like, you know, take you down into the deep end. If you want to be united with other people and you don't want to be left out in the cold, you really need to educate yourself as much as you can right now. Do your research, and also that understand that what's happening on the world right now, what's happening in the world right now, a lot of people feel like it's worse than it's ever been. You don't know that. In the past, we didn't have the information sources we did. Like when information came in, I don't think we have any information coming in from any of the pages or the nights in this reading, which is kind of interesting because we're talking all about this information like on a grander scale. But the energy, you know, the knights used to have to travel by horse for miles, deliver the message, and then come and deliver it all the way back. And they might have to go through 2 or 3 kingdoms to get back to the king. So it could take a long time. We now have instant information. And so the energy is talking about like the, you know, the benefits of being able to communicate with each other, like at the click of a mouse kind of energy. And there's also that energy. Information is energy, and energy does speed things up. It actually really does. So it's kind of like, you know, if you're thinking, oh, things seem to be going so fast right now, they are going faster because there's more information available to people all over the world. And so that energy, we don't know that it was more, like we didn't know what was happening on the other side of the world, you know, back then. Now we hear about everything. That's why you have to be responsible about how, you know, how you use this technology. Because you could really get like, you know, feel like you're really swamped by it, or you can use it and feel like you're really enlightened by it. And so we're talking about father figures as well. And this is talking about the traditional structures from the Pisces era, when it was more like you know, like that it's a paternal energy that was running the world, the old boys club kind of energy. And that's changing because now, well, look at how much the world has changed just in the last decade. It's changed a lot. And then we have the Pisces energy coming in to talk about this. So when I have cards coming in from the horoscope, I'm not talking, oh, this person's a Pisces and that one's this, and, you know, not that energy. That may be true. You may find when I'm doing these readings and I'm bringing something up that, oh, hey, I know someone and they are a Pisces. That could absolutely be true. But that's not my intention. My intention is taking on a grand scale, what can we learn from this energy? Like, what does Pisces do? They're authority, and it's about having the sensitivity to make strong, if you're an authority figure, having the sensitivity to make strong choices. Because, like, say, if you're someone that runs a company, for instance, and you have like 20 or 30 employees, every decision you make is going to affect your employees, and it's going to affect their families. And so you have to be responsible about making those situations, you know, like making those choices. And then we have attachment. So this is talking about being attached to the old ways, and you know, it's hard sometimes not to. It's like sentimental sadness, the good old days. But some people are going to wait around for the good old days to return, and I feel that they're going to be sadly disappointed, because then, you know, the longer you wait to educate yourself about the technologies and that, the more challenging it is going to be able to use them. And so we have the energy here of the superstar. So yeah, this is about, you know, a lot of this is a blessing, and it's meant to be a blessing for the planet. A lot of this technology has the potential to make the earth a much better place. And so, you know, it's how are you using it and what are you doing with it? Information is actually neutral. It's how you use it or don't use it that is not neutral. And then we have the Gemini energy coming in. So this is talking like Gemini is the third of the signs that come in here, and like there's Aries, Taurus, and then Gemini. And Gemini is an air sign, so it's talking about this kind of the baby of the Aquarius energy. And it's about going to kindergarten and learning. And I feel like that's how a lot of, like, I feel that way. I'm learning a lot. Every day I learn a lot about, you know, something like technical. And I'm like, wow, I really, I didn't know that. and so it's kind of interesting energy. You know, Mercury is Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules that energy of communication. And so it's talking about that, like, you know, don't be embarrassed if you're, you know, if you don't understand something, ask. Don't be embarrassed to ask. There's a lot of people that, I used to think that way because I never worked in an office. And so when computers first came out, I thought, oh, everybody that works in an office is going to know so much more about me. I'm going to be embarrassed to ask them, like, how do you even send an email? Like, how do you do that properly? How is it safe? Like, what's the best way to do that? And them saying, oh, but like, then I found out that a lot of them say, hey, when I have a problem on my computer, I phone the computer guy for the company and they come and they fix it. And then I realized that people that are at home and learning on their own, they have to learn how to handle those problems themselves on the computer. And so it's a learning curve, right? And so don't be embarrassed to, if you don't have a lot of technical information and feel embarrassed to ask the questions. There are really, if you don't ask the question, how are you going to improve your performance? And look at the towers on the tower. And in my oracle, it's about divorce is the worst divorce is from source. But it's also the allegory of Plato's cave, where people are chained in a cave and all they can see is actual shadows on the wall. And so they can't turn around and see that it's being projected. And so they see the shadow of a book, but they've never really held the book. And it's kind of that energy. They're all trapped in there, but they think, oh, well, this is what reality is like. And then one of them escapes into the light. And he's like, oh, you should see what's out there, but he's blinded by the light because it's so bright. And so they all think, oh no, they want to stay where they're at. They don't want to have to adapt and go out in that bright world kind of energy. So that's what I feel like. That's what this, for whatever reason, Scorpio wants to bring this up in this reading. So we're going to go with it, Scorpio. And then we have, yeah, like when you understand that and you can use it wisely, you can anticipate like that you're going to have a good journey as the Fool. The Fool starts at the 0 point, goes to all through 21 cards, and then that's the end of a cycle, and then you start another new cycle. That kind of energy. The High Priestess, yes, about using your intuition so that you are in a position where you can not just be using logic, but you have to use your intuition. Like, should I check into this some more? That kind of energy. Before you hit that link, you know, that says, hey, you hear about this all over the place right now. And because of the technology, they can fake being an institution so easily. Don't just give your information out to someone like, oh, because they sent you and here's the link. Don't click on links unless you are sure that it's a valid link. That will take you a long way from making mistakes. So the Sagittarius energy about being left out in the cold, that position there is, you know, your career, your reputation in that. Yeah, like it's going to be more challenging, especially if, you know, if you're retiring, that's one thing. But if it's you're at the age where you're starting out on your career, you're probably going to have to learn how to, you know, every day you're probably going to have to learn some sort of new technology. And a lot of it is experimental. And that's something to keep in mind, because if you're feeling like this kindergarten and you're too embarrassed to ask, recognize that one thing that I've noticed is that when, you know, if you're working in a company and you make a mistake, they'll send a memo to you and say you made a mistake. But when computer systems make a mistake, they'll send out, you know, they'll send out an update. And the update is because they missed something. There was a mistake made in the programming, but they call it an update instead of a memo. So just be aware of that. There's no need to feel embarrassed. Like, would you be embarrassed for your child if they're in kindergarten and they are trying to learn how to read and they get a word wrong? You know, you just teach them, oh, this is how you say that word. That kind of energy. And so, yeah, and this is talking also about, you know, blessings, the blessings that are from it. So I'm talking about, you know, giving yourself permission to learn as much as you want to learn about it, and give yourself like that kind of childish innocence, like where, you know, children, they love to learn. Like, you know, think of a toddler, they're asking, why? It could drive you crazy after a while, because everything is why is the sky blue, but why? And it's kind of like, that's the energy you want to be in. Why, what, when, how do I do it? That kind of energy. And then, yeah, being in the karmic space of anger. So there's a lot of karma and a few tactics. Well, there's only the two tactics. So it's talking about, you know, if you become too attached to the way things have been, then you're going to be more, this is going to be more disruptive in your life. And I really do feel like we really don't have much choice other to adapt or be left out. Like, that's just the way it's going to be. And the technology is moving so quickly that, you know, you may as well start now. On the new moon, that's a good time to start. This is really good advice, Scorpio. I love doing these astrological readings this way because there's so much information that each of the signs, this is like ancient information that it's absolutely beneficial at this time in this technical age. It's fascinating. So please do like and comment if you've enjoyed this reading, and consider subscribing to the channel. And Scorpio, I will have another reading for you for the beginning of the month coming up. Bye for now.